Assalamu alaikum viewers, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm making kids cotton frock and I'm making it for 5 to 6 year girl, and with very simple and easy designing we can style up our cotton dress and we can make it really look very beautiful. I'm using these two contrast colors of fabrics for designing the dress, and I'll use it for piping. Half meter of each fabric is used, and this is main cotton fabric, and this is 1.5 to 2 meters that will be used, right? We'll cut bias strips of these two fabrics, and to cut bias strips we need to fold our fabric diagonally. So we'll fold our fabric from this corner to that opposite corner like this and cut bias strips. Each strip would be 1.25 to 1.5 inch wide. So we'll cut strips from both of these fabrics. And now for the skirt, we'll fold our main fabric widthwise. So I folded the fabric widthwise. Now these are two layers in front of me, and first of all I cut the skirt, and I'll mark for the length of the skirt first. So I'm marking at 18 inches for skirt length, that is a few inches down the knees. Fold the fabric from this point. So we'll get two strips 18 inches long for front and back part of the skirt. We'll cut from here, separate the two layers. One is for front part of the skirt and the other is for back part. Open both the strips and join them from one side. So we'll get a long strip of fabric, join them from here. So I've joined both the strips from one side, and now we'll attach piping on the bottom of the skirt, and for that I have cut these bias strips of both the colors. These are bias strips as I told you in the beginning, and each strip is 1.25 inches wide. So we'll take black colored strip first and attach it to the wrong side of the skirt. We'll fold the strip once, and keeping the raw edge outwards we'll place it here and stitch. So this is the wrong side of our skirt. We'll fold our bias strip, keeping the raw edge outwards. We'll stitch the strip here. Try to keep the width of the strip from the folded side even. So I have attached the strip on the wrong side. Now fold it to the right side. I folded it to the right side, and now top stitch. Trim extra margin first, so it will not come out of the piping. After attaching piping to the bottom of the dress, we'll draw a few lines at the bottom of the skirt. These lines are 1 inch apart, and it will be easier for us to attach piping then. We'll use alternate colors of bias strips for piping. So we'll take the bias strip of contrast color, fold it, place it on the line we just drew, and the stitch line should come exactly above that line. In this way the distance of piping with each other would be even. So we'll simply keep the width of the piping on the folded side equal to the width of piping we want. So we'll simply top stitch. After attaching the strip, trim extra margin and fold the folded side of the strip towards the same side and top stitch. So this is how easily our piping would be done. Change the color of the strip then, and fold the strip, place it on the line and top stitch. The stitch line should be above the line. And do the same after attaching the bias strip. Trim extra margin and fold the closed side of the strip towards the margin and top stitch. We'll draw 2 more lines above it and attach yellow and black piping alternately, exactly like we just did. So I've attached 5 layers of piping, as you can see here, with alternate colors. Give a very nice press to all layers of piping for the finished look, right? And now for the top part of the skirt, we'll pleat the waist part of the skirt down to the waist measurement. So simply make small pleats and bring this top part of the skirt down to the waist measurement, and waist measurement for 5 to 6 year girl is 24 inches. So I pleated the top part, as you can see here, down to 24 inch, and I kept 1 inch for seam allowance as well. So it's looking very nice. And then we'll join the sides together and stitch the side seam. So the side seam is done and our skirt is ready. It's looking really very nice. Now we'll stitch the bodies and attach it to the skirt. For bodies, I took 2 strips of fabric, and both the strips are 11 inches long and 15 inches wide. We'll fold them again widthwise like this. Now we'll mark for the shoulder first. We mark half of shoulder at 5.5 inch. From this point we'll mark for armhole, half of armhole round, and that is 6 inches. Extend this point to the top. At this point mark for 1/4 of chest. I'm marking at 6.25 inch, and at 1 inch I marked for cutting. For 1/4 of the waist I marked at 6 inches. From this mark of cutting we'll draw a shape for back armhole and a bit deeper for front armhole like this. I'm marking at 2.5 inch for neck width and 2.5 inch for neck depth. Join these 2 points in a round shape like this. For back neck depth, I'm marking at 1 inch and join it to neck width like this. Now cut back neckline first, give a shoulder slope, back armhole, and keeping 1 inch margin, cut the side, separate the back part, and cut front neckline and front armhole. After cutting the bodies, we'll make a button placket at the center back, and I've already uploaded a video on how to make a button placket, and I've explained it in a very simple way. Link is in the description. If you want to learn how to make the button placket, you can go check out the link given in the description box. I'm making a 3.5 inch long button placket at the center back of this dress. And now we'll attach alternate colored piping on the neckline of front bodies as we did for the skirt, but here the neckline is round, so the piping would be attached in a curve. So that is why we cut bias strips, and it will be very easy to attach the piping here. I'll show you how. So this is the wrong side of our bodies. The first piping will be attached on the wrong side. We'll fold the strip, place it on the neckline, aligning it with the edge, and stitch it here. After stitching it on the wrong side, fold it towards the right side like this and top stitch here. So first piping is attached. Now to attach next 2 lines, we need to keep a few things in mind. When we'll attach piping on the second line, we won't fold it inwards towards the neckline but outwards, otherwise we'll get flaws in our piping. So we'll first mark at it is less than 1 inch because we'll keep piping closer in the neckline. So I marked here where we want our piping to be. Now we'll start piping from this side. In this way, the raw edge would be outwards and we'll fold our piping outwards and not inwards. This is important. So we'll simply place the folded bias strip on the line we just drew, and our stitch line should come exactly above it. Stitch here. So we have attached bias strip, trim extra fabric very close to the stitch line, like this. And then fold the strip towards the margin, that is outwards, and top stitch here. If we'll fold the piping inwards or towards the neckline, we'll get gathers in the piping and it won't be nicely finished. So this is how we have attached the second line. We'll do the same for the third layer of piping. Draw a line at the same distance and start piping from this side. Change the color, fold the strip, place it above the line and stitch here. That's why we cut bias strips, because they are stretchy. It is easy to move them in a round shape. Trim extra fabric. Fold it towards the margin, that is outwards, and top stitch. After attaching all the 3 layers of piping, give it a very nice press and then you can see how nicely they are done. So I've pressed the piping. I've made the button placket as well and finished the neckline as we normally do for the back part of the neck. Now match the right sides together of both the bodies, stitch the shoulders. The shoulders are done. Now we'll attach the sleeves. And for the sleeves, I took 2 strips of fabric. We'll make half sleeves. So I took the length of the strips 5 inches and the width of both the strips on fold is 1 inch more than armhole. So that is 7 inch here. We'll mark for armhole first at 6 inches. And give a 2.5 inch slope here. So we'll mark at 2.5 inch and join this point to the top in a slight curve like this. For bottom width, I'm marking at 4 inches. Join this point to the top, the armhole mark here. Cut the armhole and the side keeping 1 inch margin. Now open the sleeves. The right sides should be facing each other. Give a notch at the center of the sleeves and open the sleeves again and trim a bit more for front armhole like this. So we have cut the sleeves. Mark at the front armhole, it's important. Now we'll attach 3 layers of piping on the bottom of the sleeves as well as we did for the skirt with alternate colors of piping. So I've attached the piping here and pressed it very nicely. Now we'll attach the sleeves to the bodies. This is the front bodies and this is the back bodies. So we'll align front armhole to front bodies, center of the sleeves to the shoulder, and match the armholes, stitch here and here. Do the same for the other sleeve. Center of the sleeve to the shoulder, front armhole to the front bodies, and stitch the armholes together. So we have attached the sleeves as you can see here. Now match the right sides together and stitch the sides. But before stitching the side, we'll place the belts here in place, so they will be stitched in between. For the belt, I took strip of fabric. It is 40 to 44 inches long and 5 inches wide. fold it like this and stitch on this open side, and keep the stitch line slanting at the sides. So I've stitched here, trim extra fabric from the corners, fold the belt separate from the center. Now using any pointed thing like a pencil, turn the right side out. After turning the right side out, give it a very nice press and the belts are done. Now I've pressed the belts, and now we'll place the belts here, ½ inch above the waistline. Here, stitch the sides, and then after stitching, place the right side of the front bodice on it and stitch the side seam starting from the sleeve down to the waist. So I've stitched the sides. Now give a few notches at the sides. Now simply turn the right side out. You can see the belts have been attached. It's looking very nice. We've already sewed the skirt, so we'll simply attach the waistline of the skirt and the bodice, and for that turn the skirt wrong side out, insert the bodice in the skirt, the right side of the bodice is out, match the waist and stitch here. So I've stitched bodice and the skirt from the waistline, and our dress is done. You can see here it's looking very nice. So with very simple and easy designing, we can style up our dress. And I hope you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed yet for more videos like that. And thank you so much for watching. Allah Hafiz till the next video.